I didn't notice that I suffer with anxiety until like maybe like last year. Now, keep in mind, I always heard the terminology. I always heard like people saying like I have anxiety attacks or I'm suffering for anxiety. Like, do you know what is anxiety?
I've done some research on anxiety, and I feel like anxiety is you living too far in the future for things that haven't happened. You know, it's like a kind of a fear of what is to come, but it hasn't happened. So when it comes to anxiety, it's like I can't predict this because that's what your mind does. Your mind naturally predicts things in the future. So it's like, all right, okay, this is gonna happen. What if this happened? You know, so now you're going through all these scenarios, and when you're not able to choose which scenario is gonna happen, which it hasn't happened yet, now you're like, okay, well, I'm anxious for it. I'm anxious for when it does come. You know, so just being anxious about that and not being able to predict it, the more anxious you get, the more it depresses down. You know, because you haven't really, you put too much energy towards something that hasn't happened.
So pretty much what you're saying, like you pretty much psych yourself out. You pretty much panic on the things that haven't happened yet.
Absolutely.
Or you pretty much heightening a situation that probably isn't, needs to be heightened. So with that being said, like, dang, bro, like, I'm really learning a lot about this. Absolutely. And I feel like that in order to like really like learn more, you got to go seek professional help. Yeah. You got to go seek people that either specialize into like anxiety and depression as far as like therapy, or maybe people that deal with it on a daily basis that may have went to therapy that can kind of give you like the ins and outs about how to proceed, how to identify, and how to like, work through it. Because I'm not sure, and this might be like a medical question for like an individual that like really like studies in this. I'm not sure if it ever goes away totally, but I really believe that really figuring out how to be able to like minimize it and like work through it, and when it comes, okay, I'm starting to seep into depression. Right. I noticed that. So now before I just seep into it, how can I quickly pivot,
redirect that? Yeah. No, I get it. But a lot of times, man, we don't really seek help, especially as men. We don't really seek help. We the strong, right? And only the strong will survive. We got this mentality of, I gotta carry the world on my shoulders, and I don't have to vent. I ain't gotta express myself to anybody because I got it. Yeah. But the whole time, do you really have it, and is it leading you somewhere else? You know what I'm saying?
And a lot of times, like when we think about that, bro, like I feel like that expectation of like being a strong man, the idea of being a strong man is so taboo, simply because like as a kid, you grew up around older cousins, brothers, right? Even sisters and even women in your family, they tell you, boys don't cry. Be tough. Oh, you feel it bumped your head? Oh, don't show no emotion. Shake it off. Throw some dirt on it. And I feel like that kind of like throws us off as men, because
desensitize us, man.
Yeah, they desensitize us, and we don't know how to like really be in touch with our emotions, bro. If I ain't gonna lie to you, when I was growing up in school, if you cried, that was a joke. If you showed any kind of weakness, like
you get laughed at, bro.
Yeah, you get laughed at. Like, bro, I remember one time, bro, true story. I remember like we used to have rap battles in school. Yeah, and like they was having a rap battle, so I started rapping too. You know what I'm saying? And my raps was kind of like funny, like, but not funny like how we laughing with you, like funny like, man, we gonna joke on this dude. So it hurt my feelings as a boy, and I started to tear up. And as I didn't know what to say because I couldn't come back with a rap, you know what I'm saying? I started to like tear up, and like people started to make fun of me. And as a kid, I always internalized that because like you're taught, don't show that. You're weak. You're not a man. You're not strong. And I feel like that stuff is the weight that we carry, because we carry the weight of like this expectation of being this hard, solid Marine dude, but you're like 12 or 10 years old.
Exactly.
Why do people put that expectation on young boys, you know what I mean, early on?
Because for me, I feel like they don't know how to deal with it. So how can you teach me something you don't know how to do? Yeah. You can only teach me what you're good at. And if you're good at suppressing your emotions, you're going to teach me how to suppress my emotions. Yeah. And that's going to lead me to the same place that you at. You know what I'm saying? So,
and I think it comes from both a man and woman perspective, because I didn't grow up with my father in the household, right? And I didn't even grow up with too many father figures. I had my stepdad. He was a big figure in my life, but he was a very strong individual, like internally, like he didn't show any emotion. Right. And even from me not really seeing any examples and just seeing that he doesn't show any emotions, you kind of like, you reflect that. That becomes your reality, right? Even from a woman's standpoint, because women have this idea of a strong man, this big, strong guy that he's tough. He's able to go run in the fire anytime, and he's able to go handle any situation physically. You know what I mean? But no one talks about mentally, how is he doing? How many times throughout the day do somebody ever ask you, how's your mental health? How are you feeling today?
Very rare,
right?
You know what I'm saying?
And in the society that we live in today, that's more so like of a fantasy than reality, because men are supposed to, in the world we live in, men are supposed to do that for women. Like, oh, how are you feeling today? How's your mindset? That's just the mindset that we adapt as men. But when it's looked on from a man perspective, like, you can't do that. You can't. If you're having a bad day, suck it up. You know what I mean?
I definitely get
if something got under your skin, don't say nothing about it, because you got people looking at you.
So answer this, man. What about a man's safe haven? Like, where's your safe place at? You know what I'm saying? Like, where does a man feel safe to, express his emotions? Like, hey, man, okay. Ooh, I get to take this Superman suit off and just be me. You know what I'm
saying? When do we have our Clark Kent moments, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
When can we take this S off our chest and be a civilian? When can we confide in somebody and be emotional? You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So, honestly, bro, I'm learning that there's no such thing as a Superman. I think that it's more so Clark Kent, because Superman is the guy that's strong, powerful. He saves the world.
All the time.
He can do no wrong. But I believe that that's a facade, because even Superman has made mistakes, right? And I believe that Superman is just Clark Kent. Clark Kent have these characteristics of being a strong individual, but in reality, he's just an ordinary guy. So our safe haven has to be within us at all times, because we have to stop. We have to stop letting people put the pressure on us to be this super strong person, and realize that there's no such thing as a perfect super strong person. The only thing that's real is a person in general. There's an ordinary man, ordinary woman.
Right.
What separates us is our mentality, right? Mindset. And the only thing that can connect us is our emotions. So we have to learn how to be more in tune with our emotions in order to be comfortable with saying, like, know what? My platform is in me at all times, because all I have is what I need. I'm not going to be influenced by the outside world to be pressured to be this ideal of this strong person or strong individual. I have to be okay with being me.
Truth is, can't nobody stop us. Truth is, can't nobody stop us.